There was a thread on the League of Legends subreddit that was talking about the improvement from players from the West and players from the East. And it says, the fundamental difference between Eastern League and Western League. The West tries to leverage OP picks to have an edge on the draft. The East tries to optimize efficiency in terms of resources and macro around it. And if you're wondering, the West is not doing well. If you've watched Worlds this year, first of all, NA got smashed. Like, they got destroyed. Every time I watch League, NA is doing worse. Like, it's impossible because it's like not like they were doing well the last time I watched. And even EU, who has done well in other international tournaments, did not do very well. Him saying that NA just focuses on OP picks is like not a compliment. And it says, when it comes to Worlds, we're playing on the same patch a long time. Nothing's changing for a while here. Normally the game very rapidly changes, but now you're like stuck on a version and like this is the version. So whatever's the best in that, people will figure it out over time, right? And it says, when it was regular season, patches are consistently changed and Western teams are usually good at finding OP champs or team comps or builds, whatever works for them. But Asia teams are usually stick with the champs that they value. So in the East, like, sure, they pick the strong stuff too, but they try and pick what works for them as a team, regardless of the power level. They try to optimize what they're good at rather than just picking the obviously cheap stuff. And once World starts, they know better as an individual team how to use the champions they have because they keep developing at a deeper level. You know, he makes a bunch of comparisons and says like, hey, if you or I pick these cheap characters, it's not the same as if they're playing characters that they've just played on for a long time and they're super comfortable with. And fun stuff, when Asian teams play regular season, you guys can frequently see Western players like or coach or analysts flame or joking about Asia teams draft because they're definitely slow adapters. Does it sound familiar? You kind of see this in other games as well, where like people are like, dude, what's going on over there in Asia? Like, why are they playing these characters or that character? Like, back in Street Fighter in season 2, people would be like, why does Japan not pick or think Laura is good? Why are they not just getting that Laura and Balrog and these characters are busted? It's interesting because it's not just like a one-to-one, don't play the good stuff. It's more like focus on developing a deeper understanding of the game, whether you're playing something that's pretty good or reasonably strong or the best thing in the game. And this isn't to say that they don't pick strong champs in League in the East, right? Obviously they do. The purpose of just swapping constantly to the best thing over and over rather than developing a deeper understanding is hard to highlight. And especially in these days, fighting games are now kind of in the era where they're patched more frequently, right? And you see people like, oh, this character is the best in this patch, I'm just going to play this character. And so people will often ask, like, why is it that people don't just pick the best characters in the game in fighting games all the time? And the reason is that it's very hard to beat the comfort of other characters and the familiarity and the understanding of a character at a deep level many times, right? You can switch and have success, right? Especially if you have a long time to do so. But if you have like a month, 2 months, 3 months, right? Whatever it is to learn a new character, that's not very long compared to, a year that someone else is learning their character or whatever, right? In fighting games, people don't just pick the best character all the time because it's pretty hard to switch characters like that, right? You need to just sit there and grind relentlessly to build the same kind of comfort that you have on your main character on secondaries and other characters you're interested in trying. There are advantages to sticking with comfort picks that are pretty good rather than just focusing on picking the cheapest thing over and over. And honestly, sometimes by picking the cheapest thing and not sticking with a character that you're comfortable on, it can actually hurt your understanding of the game. If you're just brute forcing your way through by picking something strong and cheap that just solves problems for you, you might like miss out on important understanding of like what is even happening in the game. But it is an interesting aspect of character strength and thinking about what to play, especially because, League of Legends, they're getting their ass beat. I don't know. That one, I don't know what to tell them. They got to figure that shit. Whatever the problem is, good luck to them. Listen. Project Dell weekly balance updates. Imagine you just learn your B&B and the next week it's gone. That happened to me in NRS games, to be fair. I flew the combo breaker and then didn't know a B&B for my character because my character's main string that they used in every combo was no longer special cancelable. I played 2 characters in that game. They both got nerfed in the patch. So I went to the tournament and none of my combos worked. No, I did not do that well. I think I got to like losers finals in my pool or something.